T to the V to the L to the I to the N to the E, TVLine.
Hannibal cast and producers, welcome.
Thank you.
The finale, what a spectacular episode of television that was. However, a lot of people's... a lot of fates hanging up in the air. Although Lawrence has said he's coming back for a couple episodes.
Yes.
We know Hugh is back. Caroline is here. So are we to assume that everyone survives?
All the actors here will be in season 2. Whether their characters will be alive is another issue.
Interesting.
Although Jimmy did have a heart attack off camera. But he does recover.
He lost control of his bowels.
He did lose control of his bowels in the lab.
Yes. Well, thank God.
And you finally got your stool sample.
Not the first time.
No, I got that stool sample.
What was your reaction when you guys read that script, particularly Caroline, when you saw what was going to happen, or you read what was going to happen?
Well, we were expecting something big. I mean, it's the finale, so you want something huge to happen. And the buildup was, all season you could see the buildup between Hannibal and Will, and where's this going, and so many things were happening. So we were expecting some kind of explosion, and we certainly got it.
And what was it like shooting that sequence where you fall out the window and the raindrops?
It was so fun because I didn't get to do a lot of jumping out windows and running around. So it was my my stunt girl moment, and I really liked it. We spent a few hours. Yeah, I think I did it 8 or 9 times, and it was big mats, and it feels like you're actually like an action hero all of a sudden. So it was really fun to do.
And at the time, did you know that were you confident there would be a season 3?
It was one of those situations where I knew that if we didn't get a season 3 on NBC, that there were other buyers that were interested. Whether or not they would be able to do the show at the same price point was the question mark. So I knew there was a possibility of it, but whether it was going to be done right in other hands, I didn't know. So I wanted the season to definitely feel like it is a finale of sorts, and it would have been kind of bold to have your title character kill all the other characters and walk out in the rain, drop the mic like a boss, and get on a plane. So like if it had been the last episode, I would have been like, cool, we're kind of rock and roll. And after pushing daisies and Wonder Falls, it's like you got to plan every season like it's the last season.
Right.
So that's kind of been our approach, is like, even in season 1, we could leave Will in the institution, and that would be our ending. Season 2, we could have Hannibal walk out, and season 3, we're absolutely the same thing. We hope we get another season, but we're planning, because I don't want to get stuck in another pushing daisies situation where we're scrambling and seeing what we have in the edit room to try to build a satisfying ending.
What was Gillian Anderson doing on that airplane with Hannibal?
Watch episode 1 of season 3.
So we'll find out fairly quickly.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
In episode 1, you do flashbacks to a couple of points in Bedelia and Hannibal's life, and the first episode is all about those characters. It's like a new pilot for a new show.
Okay.
It's the talented Mr. Lecter.
As you said, we've left the reservation.
Yeah, we're wackadoodle. Like it goes bonkers in season 3.
And you told us that there'll be some new characters being introduced in the new season to sort of face off with Will. Can you hint at who those characters might be?
Yeah, there's a lot of them from the literature, which is, as a fan of the literature, it's always exciting for me to be able to dig into those characters. So we're rolling out in a fun way all of these characters from the book. So episode 2 introduces Commander Pazzi, who is the Italian detective in the film Hannibal, in the book Hannibal, not to be confused with the Happy Days character. And then in episode 3, we introduce Murasaki, who is Hannibal's aunt. And episode 4, we introduce Cordell, who is one of Mason Verger's dirty henchmen. And we introduce Francis Dollarhide in episode 8.
And Scott and hello. And Aaron, curious, after what happened to Beverly last season, are you concerned that if your characters get too close to Hannibal's scent that you will be killed off as well?
I think what the show does so great is that that death was so earned. I mean, if that's I think what we like about being on the show is that the show is great, and the show, it's easy to trust Bryan with his decisions because they're always work out. So if it's decided that that's death will happen, that if he decides to kill Scott, then so be it.
Right. Well,
So be it.
It kind of works out nice because Hettienne's gone. You guys get both more screen time. If Scott's gone, you get more screen time.
Maybe a spin-off. I'm just spitballing, but like maybe a spin-off. I open like a bait shop. I solve crimes on the side.
I would love to see you with a handful of worms.
Just like see, we're already got a title.
You gotta kill us together, don't you think?
Oh yeah. Well, you have to be. Yeah, it's got to be co-idle.
I would think so.
At this point in the interview, we should check in with Hugh just to see if there's anything he would like to share.
He would like to share that he is in Australia and wishing that he was here.
Yeah.
This is the first line of Hannibal toys that we're doing with the show. These come out in November. So they're little dolls by Funko. And there is a Comic-Con exclusive at the Funko booth that is Bloody Hannibal.
Would you let your children play with Hannibal toys?
I would let them play with this one because it's fairly innocuous, and that guy's awfully cute. If they don't know the context.
This would be for kids.
Yes, I would let my son or daughter play with that.
The Addams Family kids.
Yeah.
Would love that. Wednesday would love that,
I had
wouldn't
sex
she?
with that guy.
Yeah.
The sex was so good that his face fell off in the middle of it.
And his genitals. Have you checked?
I kept them.
Something's fermenting in there.
Speaking of which, fans are very polarized about the fact that you had sex with him. They think that it was sort of beneath your character's intellect.
Beneath.
Like she should have been too smarter to fall for his seductions.
But wouldn't you?
Wouldn't you?
If you met Maz and you didn't know that
Yeah.
he ate anybody, wouldn't you want to shag him rotten?
Absolutely.
We don't know what happened.
You would want to shag him rotten.
Listen,
in your school.
I'm all for all sex, especially. I mean, someone saying they wouldn't have sex with Hannibal is.
Even if I knew he was a killer, I'd still have sex with him. I mean, that's hotter.
We talked about that a little
I
bit.
think she knew Hannibal way before she knew anyone else on the show, so she really trusts him, and he was a mentor to her and a friend. That's why he's so powerful in this show, too. I mean, you can be right next to him and not see it.
Do you think you were getting back at Will by sleeping with him?
I never saw it that way, really. I think she was in a mood of going, come on, be a grown-up and have a grown-up relationship and don't try to save someone again. And Hannibal doesn't need to be saved.
No.
You know? So once in her life, she's having a serious relationship, but then, yeah, he becomes who he is.
What kind of sex do you think that you guys would have had?
Really awesome sex.
Like, I know, but,
Yeah.
but like, weird?
Oh.
Kinky?
Like in the butt?
Well, that's not weird. Well, weird?
I'm gonna start wrapping this up.